You're watching Good Morning Africa program here on iAfrica TV. My name is Sohna Tunkara. It's a beautiful morning in our studios. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. Now, wherever you may be watching us, we're saying a big welcome and thank you for following us. To begin with, the Gambia Armed Forces on Sunday issued a statement clarifying on the dismissal of ex-corporal Omar Sajo from the Gambia National Army, who was alleged to be the son of Mr. Salif Sajo, the leader of the MFDC separatists in Casamance, Senegal. The army says due to the sensitive nature of the allegations, it conducted an investigation into the matter, but there was no evidence to prove that ex-corporal Omar Sajo is the son of Salif Sajo. However, ex-corporal Sajo was dismissed from the GAF in 2017 after investigations by GAF and the SIS established that he gained admission into the Gambia Armed Forces through irregular and fraudulent means, leading to his dismissal from the army. After willfully making a false entry in an official document and Section 78 of the Armed Forces Act for conduct prejudicial to good order and discipline, the statement added. Now, joining me on the line to discuss more on the matter is the Army spokesperson, Mr. Lamin K. Sanyang. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Mr. Sanyang, what prompted the clarification, now considering that ex-corporal Omar Sajo was dismissed from the army since 2017, according to the statement?
What prompted the clarification was that there was a lot of agitation that was that followed the press conference that was held by the National Security Advisor last week, I think a couple of weeks ago. And then the armed forces deemed it fitting to clarify the matter, to lay to rest this allegation on ex-corporal Omar Sajo's dismissal from the armed forces.
So does this suggest that there may be other officers in the army who are wrongfully employed as other people were claiming?
I don't think it suggests that there are other people in the armed forces who are who have the same issue. But what we have to be mindful of is, in law there is what is called, the adage that innocent until proven guilty. So until such a case comes up, we may not be able to, in a position to state categorically that there are people out there with, false, certificates joining the ranks of the armed forces.
So what is your institution doing to avoid such reoccurrence?
Well, anytime such issues come up, and this is not the first time that we have had, issues like this, but anytime they come up, whether during recruitment or after the person, is within our ranks, an investigation is conducted, like the case for Omar Sajo has been, investigated. And if there is credible evidence to indicate that the person joined the armed forces using fraudulent means, the necessary course of action is taken in tandem with our regulations as an armed forces, the terms and conditions of service, and also the Gambia Armed Forces Act.
So what is the fate of Mr. Sajo now?
As far as I know, I understand he's going through the course with the Gambia Immigrations Department.
So can you update us on the reforms that are currently undergoing in the country?
As far as the reforms goes for the Gambia Armed Forces, since 2017, within the Armed Forces itself, there has been a tremendous effort by the command itself to ensure we have a change of mindset of members of the armed forces to understand that we are in a political dispensation where democracy and the rule of law is supreme. And to that end, we have embarked on several training and capacity building exercises. In that, we have had officers training periods in 2017, 2018. We have conducted also courses on civil-military relations. This is one area that the Gambia Armed Forces emphasizes on. Because it's important that we maintain good cordial relations with members of the civilian population. And also we have expanded on some of our operations in that we have some couple of battalions that's in Kanilai and in Basse that have been opened to ensure that members of the public and their properties are protected. And a lot of other issues, like the State Guards Battalion also. The old Presidential Guards was disbanded because it was behind most of these atrocities, namely for the junglers. So a new Presidential Guard is being created. Right now we have about 300 personnel who have been trained in Presidential Guards duties, and they are in charge of the protection of His Excellency the President. And a lot of other issues are also, a lot of civil-military relations is also being conducted within the battalions, in that they have battalion CIMIC teams that are working with the communities to enhance security in those areas. Not recently, we have deployed a platoon in Kerpate to provide security and safety around that area. So a lot, I can say, is being done in that drive, especially for, internally, as far as the armed forces is concerned. For the legal frameworks also, we are looking at some of our legal documents, like the Armed Forces Act, the Terms and Conditions of Service, and some of our regulations to bring them up to speed and also to update them. I think a couple of weeks ago, you had seen DCAF was, sponsoring one workshop where members of the armed forces and other security services have come back to look at some of these documents, like the Armed Forces Act, to ensure that it is in tandem with the Constitution or the draft Constitution that is what's being rolled out. So a lot is being done, despite the fact that there's a huge outcry there. However, this is a process. It's not an event that is like you do it one-off and you are done with. But I think from the side of the armed forces, we can say with confidence that a lot is being done, but more room also needs for improvement.
So part of the reform, are we expecting any army who were sent to return back to the force?
You're talking about reinstatements. Well, in the past, around 2017, there have been a board was constituted to look at some of these personnel of the armed forces who were wrongfully dismissed. But I wish to underline that it's not only the armed forces, members of the armed forces who are affected. It's across even the civil sector, and there were people who, whose employments were terminated wrongfully, in the past. And it's not only in the armed forces, but for the part of the armed forces, a board was constituted to look at some of these, people's cases, and those who had credible or who were deemed fitting to come back, were reinstated. But like I said, it's not only armed forces, but it's across even the civil sector. People whose employment have been terminated have been reinstated.
Thank you for taking time to talk to us.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
That was the Army spokesperson, Lamin Sanyan, speaking to us on the dismissal of Corporal Omar Sajo. Now, from that, President Barrow has been criticized by many for recalling ambassadors, especially those that are thought to be close to the United Democratic Party. Many hold the conviction that his action has been warranted by the fallout he has with the UDP after sacking its leader. But to President Barrow, it is a new initiative that his government has taken. In an exclusive interview with iAfrica TV at State House, the president says his government has taken new reforms to replace the old guards with young ones, and this has manifested in the recalling of the aging ambassadors, which he says has nothing to do with politics. Let's hear more from the Gambian leader in this excerpt.
But is it true that you are recalling ambassadors that are close to UDP?
Recalling?
Yes.
No. I don't recall people based on politics. Even the person you are appointed, do you know which party he supported? Do you know? You don't know. In here, you don't know what is in there. But part of our reforms, I think we want younger people now to come in. People who have retired, 70 years, I think it's time now. They give chance to young people. And we are appointing young ambassadors. Younger, far younger than those. Okay. Look at all the new appointments. Younger appointments. Far younger than the people who are there. It's part of our reforms. That's it.
Okay. Still,
you've always advocated for youth empowerment, and we have seen Mr. Baji appointed as the Ministry of Youth and Sports. How many more are we expecting?
Yes, I'm part of our reforms. We want younger people to be in government. To me, I don't know whether that is what is going to happen, but I think that the next president will be younger than me. So that's why we want to encourage young people to take leadership. That is the reality. Young people, we believe that they are smart, they are strong, they have energy. I think they can carry the responsibility of governance in the future. That's why we are trying to encourage them. We will see more young people in my government in the future, definitely.
Speaking during an exclusive interview with iAfrica TV on Friday. Now joining me in the studios to discuss on the matter is UDP's Nyawuru. Good morning.
Good morning. Tunkara. Today this is what is trending. I'm very happy to be here today in the part of this segment of iAfrica TV's Good Morning Africa. Just to tell the people who are viewing and listening, we are here for national interest. We are here to speak the truth no matter what. So let nobody take this personal. It is the country's issue here, Gambia calling, and if Mother Gambia calls, the only thing we do bisect issues, discuss them, and be critical of what is happening in this country. So everybody listening to this program, watching all over the world here, home and diaspora, we are saying good morning to you all, and thank you.
Good morning, and we are always thrilled to have you in our studios because whenever you appear, there's always light in the studios. So you've had the president speak. What do you think of it? Do you trust what the president said?
I don't trust, and I don't think he is serious.
And why is that?
Because if you have to start overhauling the people here you call old people who are aging, you have the oldest presidential advisor maybe in the entire world, in the mobile force. Why don't you retrench him and appoint another young guy to be your advice? If people around you are old, they are older than people you recall, and yet still you are telling us age and reform. And what reform are you talking about? Because when you come to his cabinet, it is only one young guy there right now that we are saying youth empowerment. That is Bakari Baji, and who else?
But maybe the president has his own personal reason.
You know, we all know what is happening, what is here under the table that you can see. The president is just trying to paint whatever he does nicely by claiming that he has reforms. No, all his reforms agendas are non-starters, because that is why he felt apart with the UDP. He is not serious with reform. If you are serious with reform, you should not be recycling people who are adversely mentioned in commission's reports, and recommendations were given for those people to be reprimanded. And you didn't do anything about those, implement any recommendations about that. You cherry pick what you like, pick and choose. And that is what is the honor of the day in this Barrow's government. When you can say Modu Sabari will be banned for life, but Mamburenja is free to go at it and still be a state minister. Alayi Sise still can be the chief protocol officer, and other people like Tangara and other people who are advisely mentioned in issues in this country. I
doubt the president will just blindly choose people like that. He might be looking for some capabilities that those aging groups don't possess at all.
It's today he's seen they've not possessed anything. But previously when they were appointed, he said a lot of good things about them. So that is not the issue, because he has not even mentioned about competence. Competence has nothing to do with age, Tunkara. Competence has to do with an individual's capacity. Age has nothing to do with competence. A young guy can be that old and matured in the brain when an old guy is not matured in the brain. But likewise, or the opposite, the old guy can be very old. He's a very cool, level-headed individual, and age has nothing to do with his competence, his capabilities, or the way he can deliver in positions as he is appointed. But we know there is that pretext that the president will always give to defend whatever he does. He said it earlier, we know he said he can't. He doesn't know. He has technocrats, luminaries around him, educationists, experts, who will guide him in going to the promised land. And now when you start dropping each of those individuals along the way on the bus and you start riding on a horse, that means that you forgot about your agenda, you forgot about the reforms, you are on a personal crusade, and that is the NPP. You're talking about young people. Please, Mr. Barrow, if you want to give young people the chance, you should not have thrown that progressive document called the CRC draft that was taken to the National Assembly. courtesy of you, Ahmad Ba, and your so-called brown envelope MPs, you were able to dump that progressive document that was there for the youth because it gave youth representation maximum respect.
So, Nyauri, is this your own personal perspective or it's from the UDP itself? You think this is politically driven?
It is not a personal perspective only. It is a popular perspective. It is a constructive perspective. It is a patriotic perspective because I'm a Gambian. If you want to support the youth, you support a document that has empowered the youth more than any other document for 170 years of Gambia's history. When you look at the draft constitution, it has given it has given us a quota in certain aspects of decision making, especially the National Assembly, and what should be given to the youth is specific in the National Assembly, not acts in the Constitution. And that is very important. Yet, if you are doing that, and you as the president started that project, and you still condemn that project to its untimely demise, yes, if you want to come, Mr. President, if you truly want to live by what you think and what you believe in, you should not even be thinking of having 15 years. You should be content with 10 years, even if it is retrospective, in as much as it's 10 years. That's good for you.
The president
give an opportunity to the young ones coming up so that the 5 years that will be there will be somebody else.
The president on Friday said if he were in the National Assembly, he would have voted yes for the Constitution.
My friend.
So that is manifesting that he has the country at heart. This is a politician
who is speaking. This is a politician talking here. What he is saying and what he means is not the same. We know what he means. When that draft was going through those processes of being mentioned, first reading, second reading, did he make any plea officially on television or making it public that please, National Assembly members, make sure that this bill has passed through the second reading, let it go to the committee level, the third reading, then whatever amendments you want to do, you can do it later, and pass it to the Gambian people whose money were spent on drafting this constitution. But if he never did so.
Nyauri, if he does that, don't you think he will be interfering in the process?
No. No. Political party leaders did it. National Assembly members, some of them lobbied.
Those are political parties, but he is the president. We're talking about the president here.
Ms. Tunkan, the president, this is the brainchild of the president. He said this is his CRC. When he was coming, even during the 3-year issue, these are the issues that the president said they have not done yet with that, so they have not completed their mandate. That the TRRC is there, the Constitutional Review Commission is ongoing. So because of those in the 3 years, we cannot relinquish power and go back to the polls. So now, it is a government bill, sponsored government bill. So if you start lobbying, lobbying is not the bad side of governance. It's a very good thing. Start lobbying, convince other unconvinced National Assembly members, especially the 8. Now, everybody knows it's an open secret that the renegade National Assembly members from the United Democratic are with Barr. Openly, they've said they're siding with Barr. Why didn't he convince his MPs to vote for it if he obviously thinks that they should vote for it? And when he was there, he would have voted for it. They will listen to him. He is their Alpha and Omega. He is their chief patron. He is giving them envelopes frequently. So I think whatever he tells them, they do. But if he tells us, when I'm there, I would have done this, and the people who are there representing him and his interests voted against the Gambia, voted against the future.
He is giving them envelopes.
Yes.
Is that an allegation?
It's not an allegation, it's a fact.
Are you sure about that?
You're very sure. Now, there is nowhere in the world that they can dispute it, because they've been collecting it with other colleagues, and they came forward and said, the president gave us money, and that is it. We take it from the horse's mouth. They were not only the people confronted or met by the president or pulls or fought with his agenda when they were trying to formulate that party. When they created the National Youth for Barrow's National Youth for Development, we said it's a political party in the making. Everybody we've vindicated now, and that's true. So that is the time they started giving envelopes. Not everybody was that bad and rogue. Some rejected the envelopes. So the people who rejected the envelope come forward with their secrets. And now the people who are giving their allegiance to the president are still collecting envelopes, my sister. They are collecting. That is the truth, hard fact. No rumor, no allegation.
That is the hard fact from Nyauru, right?
From everybody.
No, from you. You don't have to generalize it. It's from you, okay? So we are going to connect that with this story when the Gambian president has said that in politics, everything is possible. Such comment came in when asked if there are plans for a coalition with the former ruling party come 2021 election by iAfrica TV reporter in an exclusive interview with him at State House. Let's take a listen to him.
There are suggestions that your party, the NPP, wants to coalesce with the APRC in the next presidential elections. Could you elucidate?
In politics, anything is possible.
So you are in fact contemplating?
I might even alliance with maybe UDP. It's possible.
No, it's not possible, Mr. President.
No, it's possible.
No, Mr. President, that's not possible.
It's possible. We are open. We are ready to work in it. Who thought that the 8 parties will come together? For 20 years, they were trying to go into alliance. It didn't happen. When we came, it happened. So nothing is impossible. You are laughing. It's possible.
So let's
I'm not ruling out anything. As far as it is Gambia, as far as we all want to come together and work in the interest of this country, I can go into coalition with any party. So I am not even ruling out my main opposition.
Who is your main opposition?
UDP is my main opposition. They are the main opposition party today. Obviously, looking at the government, looking at the positions, political positions, they are the main opposition.
What is
According to the president, as far as development is concerned, he is willing to coalesce with any political party. Is that the same with UDP?
That one, let him live in his own dreamland. The president can start dreaming from today till when we meet again at the pool. But that is something that is not happening in 100 years. It is not realistic, it is not serious, and it is not even natural for that to happen.
What do you mean about
that?
Because
when you come from a house and you said, previously, now everybody is vindicated again. Previously, we've had his surrogates. Some of them backing, like Dusano and the others, saying that they have the biggest enemy that the NPP has, and Barrow is the UDP. Today, yesterday, watching this excerpt, we found it, and we've also concluded that whatever Du was saying is from Adama Barrow. But let him dream, that's good. A president can be dreaming, that will not ever come to reality. What we are planning is to unseat him. When you want to unseat somebody, you can have an alliance with him. That is complete. Let him take UDP out of the equation. And one thing I know, everybody should be one. If you are discussing anything with Barrow, you should be the last person in the room with him. Or else when you leave, he's going to change his mind with the other person coming next. So let all the political parties be one. If he can do this U-turn, 360, to a parent party that brought him to limelight, so the other parties be one. And whatever alliance you should have, he is assuming that he is going to lead that alliance.
But in this
and
context,
if you are not desperate, if any political leader is not desperate, and you know you don't make up the numbers, why should you think that whatever alliance you're making with other serious political parties, you will be leading that alliance?
No, in this context, Barrow has made it publicly that he's willing to work with any political party for the Gambia. But speaking right now, it seems like UDP is not ready for it. And I think you all have the country at heart. So regardless of who Barrow is or what his intentions are, I think the Gambia should come first.
Barrow is not working for the Gambia.
Who is he working for then?
He's working for himself.
No, he's obviously working for the Gambia because he's our president.
For the last 3 years, what serious development will you say? Serious development, I mean. When you go through the Greater Banjul area here and the provinces, there is no one good road network in this country at the moment. When you come to the capital here and KMC, you feel pathetic. When you pass from Sukuta, you go into Sanchaba, you think you live in Republic of Conakry in Kampala, like they used to say. When you come from here, Latikunda here, going towards Bundu, virtually it's not motorable around Bitiki Yasin and around where the garage is at Latikunda, going to the Latikunda school. When you go to Colomba Road, it's worse. Wherever you go, the main networks of road in this capital here, in our urban area is not working. The president is telling us he's bent on creating what development for this country? He's bent on creating employment when Gambians have been, the number of unemployment has surged to a 10-year high. My friend, is this government serious? When you go to the health facilities, our health system is crumbling. Last time I said here, and I will see, as government and a health system that cannot even afford, sometimes they miss blood bags, they don't even have paracetamol. That day I came here with a prescription that my daughter got sick. I took them to the health center. All the things that were administered in that prescription were not available at the hospital. You call that serious government? You want people to be believing what President Barrow is. Mr. Barrow, President, with all due respect, we will not believe in whatever you tell us, because all what you told us before, nothing has come to pass. No Wi-Fi in Brekama, no bridge at Barra Banjul, no rice costing 700. The Janet Commission under the carpet. Preparedness for COVID-19, better late than never. Alliance with political parties that you were campaigning against because of the system they work, you start integrating everyone back to your government. All wines in new bottles, never again. We will not allow that to be fooled by presidents because they are not here for the interest of the people. If you are seriously for the interest, you should stick to all the reforms. You should stick to statesmanship, but not creating a political party, concentrating more on politics now than on the work of the government. And I'm warning him, with all what he is doing, we are seeing a second surge of the COVID-19 all over the world. The United Kingdom and other big countries in the world are looking up. What contingencies do the government of the Gambia have when we have a second surge?
But he said
they're forgetting. They are not always prepared.
He said
in LRR, I went there. I saw the place they call a COVID-19 center, all containers. All metallic containers that were having windows cut for them. You expect COVID-19 patients to be admitted there?
Have you visited the clinic in Bakau?
What clinic in Bakau? Everybody in the Gambia can fit in that clinic.
No, it's quite
no, wait. He said, they said they have regional centers to cope COVID-19. The regional center in LRR is like a rat's hole. Nobody, it's not even fit for animals to be there. And still is open like that. So in case there's another surge, where is the Gambia going? Economically, socially, is there anything viable that is strategic set aside by the government to address any issue of another surge or another phase of COVID-19? Beds, PPEs, the preparedness mentally, psychologically of the people and the medical experts. Because we've seen there was a time people in the medical sector were even running away from patients, and some patients died because of negligence, because of the fear of COVID-19. Even you don't have COVID-19, with whatever element. So what are they doing to professionalize the practitioners, to make them understand saving life is their core value as medical practitioners? That ethic, that norm, have they done the proper groundwork so that when we have a second surge, we'll not have medical personnel running away from people because for the fear of their own life. We've seen medical doctors, with all due respect, all over the world die of COVID-19, try to save others, and they've saved others. That is the noble thing. That is the humble thing. That is the ethics of the profession.
Nyahuru, are you trying to say that the president, since he came into power, he has not done any positive input?
Tunkara, the way you describe positive can vary from where I describe positive. Definitely, the newfound democracy that we all and everybody is backing of is, we've done it for ourselves. Apart from that, what we expected from the government and their promises, they've not kept any.
Really?
Really? Tell me one they've kept. No proper reforms. No proper sectoral reform. No proper sectoral reform. Health, the armed forces, interior, finance reforms, whatever reform, human resources reform, none of them. All the projects that we were promised with, none of them, they are all nonsense. Which project has been promised by Barrow during his campaign for presidency that has come to pass? Tell me one. If you tell me, then I will know he tried a little bit, but none. So we will not even gauge by what is here. Even projects that are signed in 2015, he's taking ownership. Projects that are signed in 2013, 2012, and they are completed during his tenure, he's taking ownership. Those are the issues that we should beat our chests about. And why African leaders like Barrow going to URL telling people I'll give you 3,000 when Barrow himself has not 3,000.
So how about...
No, let me tell you something. The president of any country is the poorest. The food you eat and your family and the house you live in is paid by the poor taxpayers' money. So how do you come? I give you 3,000. Barrow, it's not your 3,000. This is from the World Bank, 30 million. When you say things, you laugh. You are laughing. Today you are laughing, but there will come a time we will not laugh, Mr. Barrow. It's only deposing you. That is our project. Barrow must go and you must go. That is it.
So how about the Hakalan Road?
The Hakalan Road. The Hakalan Road, I will tell you something about the Hakalan Road. The Hakalan Road is the most interesting project. The Gambia government and the pristine problem. You've awarded a contract to another company. You've already signed, they've already taken their machineries, and you supposedly took the money and give it to another company. They're waiting for the other company to start, and the government will pay hundreds of millions of dollars. They know why, and still it doesn't start. Because the government is playing, I don't know which type of government it is. They are ill-informed. They are not advised. You have a contract, existing contract for a particular payment. You didn't give them, you give another company that contract again.
Not ongoing?
People in Hakalang, you know, I'm feeling sorry for the guys in Nyomi. No matter what our jokey relationship are like Jarankas and Nyominkas. What I'm feeling sorry for you, sorry, you know, you are not used to roads. Maybe the bridge would have taken care of your problem, but that road, I'm not seeing any time soon that it will start.
But the Nyominkas are very happy.
They are very happy. Obviously, they should be happy. After 53 years of nationhood, or 55 years, this is the first time I think they are having the quota of the national cake. So they should be happy. This is not something that somebody should be boasting of. This is something that is given to them by the lawmakers. That Hakala Road is approved by the national. So, kudos to the National Assembly, not any other person will take that credit, but to the National Assembly members that have approved that road and other roads for the benefit of the people who are out there and they've been lacking basic social amenities for 55 years. Nyominka brother sorry, alehakatu dunia beten munyonin sabarole, Allah wato sita bari baro ndesan. Ateyo jinkoni nkonku, sa bekela nyadi. You cannot go anywhere. In Sanyang in Conakry, this is Sanyang in Gambia. This is the big man himself, Ousainou Darboe, with this crowd. This is not a rented crowd. It is not a compelled crowd. This is not a borrowed one. This is a very real crowd, a loving one, a serious one, a sincere one. Anybody here, when they are on your free will, without even the party's impetus in carrying you there, because the party has not provided any vehicle for anybody. Any vehicle here, any person here, or any teacher one here is courtesy of you yourself and somebody else who loves the party. So this is the UDP. This is just beyond imaginable. You can't imagine this. This is iAfrica TV at its best with their drone all over, showing the whole world that this is not Kampala, or this is not Sanyang in Conakry. This is Gambia. This is UDP. This is what we do. So because of this, you know, in other weeks, when we were from Quinala, it was like they had a meeting later. But I am informed and I'm well assured that even yesterday also they had a meeting, but closed door. They will keep on having meetings and they will not concentrate on national development, but only UDP. That is where their failure starts. This is UDP. This is who we are. Live for nothing, but die for something. The great yellow army.
You were saying that the Gambia is not ready for a second wave of the coronavirus, but looking at the visuals, the crowd there, do you think that UDP is also telling us that yes, coronavirus is still existing?
Yes, because we are following suit what the president does.
No. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
It is their responsibility.
It is our responsibility. It is the responsibility
of the government and the people, the citizenry. But we always conform to the guidelines of the government. You've never had a UDP crowd, one thing, during the regulations, during the lockdown, during the restrictions. But we are a political party. Let's tell each other the truth. If the president violates his own rules and guidelines, doing his politicking, we are a political party, and a political party's lifeline is the people. We cannot reject the invitation of our people, our supporters, and our militants. When other political parties, when the president and his group are busy doing politics, that means that you sign your own death warrant. That's what we can do. But whenever there is any restriction that the government follows it, and we know seriously it is affecting, the party leader came out strongly and condemned. There will be no meeting, there will be no political activity amid COVID-19, because when you are not healthy and you are sick, you cannot do politics.
We're still experiencing coronavirus.
We still experience in UDP.
Mobilize thousands of people.
Unfortunately, in UDP, we don't have corona there. Nobody gets corona in UDP.
Really?
The corona group are there, the ministers, the vice president, the president who went into isolation, who was not so of his status, who was not so of his status, his cabinet, his economic, his soldiers were COVID-19. We are not COVID-19. And we are not saying this is not serious, and we are not saying we are not taking COVID-19 seriously. But what we are saying is COVID-19 is here to stay with us. We have to take the measures that will always be on our side to make sure that we save ourselves from COVID-19. But it is a stranger or it is an alien that is not going as soon as you think. So we have to put in measures.
So
from concerted government effort.
Strictly following the measures?
Here.
Because from the video,
definitely here, no. Because it is the ambience, it is the passion, it is the impulse, it is the political will of the people on the ground that everybody virtually forgets about COVID-19. But that doesn't mean from the leadership to the militant they don't know COVID is real and it is still around here. It is a social menace. Definitely, yes. But the impulse, the passion, the concern, the enthusiasm from the people in the UDP to see that we have a better Gambia, that the Gambia we yearn for 22 years still come to pass. And always like the party leader will say, Nte wasala, ikon ma wasa. That's good. I will not be content with what is happening until I've seen that what is happening to my daughter Fenda and Yama is what the ordinary rural Gambian woman enjoys in their rural Gambia. That is the time I will be content. So that is the time the Gambia will be content. And so shall it be.
The fight against COVID-19 is collaborative. And looking at this video, UDP is not demonstrating something positive here now.
Let me tell you something, Ms. Tunka. We are not fighting COVID-19. We're doing politics. So let's concentrate on
but
politics.
We have to fight COVID-19. We're faced with COVID-19
now, during the COVID-19, apart from the central government, there is no organization, there is no political party who've contributed immensely towards ameliorating the situation of COVID-19 and the UDP. The party leader has his buntung. They spent over $3 million on foodstuff to be distributed in regions all over in this country, given to local area councils, distributing detergents, distributing buckets from the party's level. So that is not, you want to tell me it's not a concerted effort from the UDP? No, you cannot say that. But during this time, this is what UDP is about, the doctrine of the UDP. This is showing you, the number out there is showing that the doctrine has filtered to the militants and to the people of the Gambia.
So could the same thing imply to President Barrow when he went for the laying of the foundation stone in Hakalam, because we've seen a lot of people came out and support him. And you criticize a lot.
Say a lot of kids. No, you don't say a lot of kids. You've shown you have the footage here, the archive. Tell me, if you have the archive here, bring it forth right now, iAfrica TV. I will show you kids. When you have our own video in your archive, play it, show me one kid. The difference between the two crowds are the genuine ones and the not rented ones, the rented ones, the compelled ones. Compulsion. You have to be there because of your position. You have to be there because you are a state minister, you are a civil servant, or you are an army officer. Even you look at the number of security on the ground, is virtually half of the size of the delegation.
Okay, Nyauru, so the president being welcomed by kids or adults is not the center focus here right now. The focus is how to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, and which you criticize the president of violating. UDP is also doing the same thing.
No, we didn't violate. We're helping him. Violation is at one stage.
This is now beyond the president himself. This is about we as Gambians.
Breaking the law cannot be in stages, breaking. You break it and you continue breaking it.
So he is
Barrow
also permitted to break and
broke it.
also continue,
Barrow
right?
and his people broke it. Everybody around is helping him to break it more.
And you are also helping to break
We are
it
not
more.
helping him. We are helping ourselves not to be left behind. When Barrow is busy politicking, not putting at the back of the
you are
mind.
contradicting
I'm not
here.
contradicting.
This is contradictory.
What I'm saying is we don't love to do what we do. But the conditions around is what is compelling us to do what we're
The same
supposed to
thing
do.
might also apply to
No,
them.
Barrow was not forced by any situation. He should have stayed away.
No,
Still
we
now
are
there
not
will be
being
those
fair
things.
here.
No, Barrow was not. He could have sent the permanent secretary just to open lay foundation of a mayor market. The food they consume for 3 years can build another market like that. That they went and lay a foundation. The market they opened in Jasoma, even me, you send me there, open it, and the people will not come out. Because it's a normal project. So why? Should a president leave the whole place and go and open minor district, minor regional projects like that? That even the permanent secretary can send his two wisely to go and inaugurate? My friend, we should be serious. The president is calling those things projects. Less than $1 million project. 2 million, you call that a project. That's what you do. They are not only welcomed by kids in Hakalang and in Badi, but also by the bees. They are welcomed by the bees. Swarm of bees come at them, welcoming them. Welcome to Badi. Next time when you coming here,
Were those bees sent by you?
Yes, they are. So you should be very careful of the UDP. We have bees. We have mosquitoes. We have even bugs.
So
you are not careful. You go to somewhere you want to spend the night.
Right now
you
here
send the
with
yellow
you?
bug and it come and bite you there. It makes life uncomfortable for you during the night.
Am I safe here right now?
You are very safe because you are with the beekeeper. You are very safe. You are with the beekeeper. You are
It's
safe.
always amazing to have you.
No,
in the
you know one
studios
thing
now.
about you. You are very safe. Your Good Morning Africa is written in black. The background is yellow. So you are safe with me and you are safe with the bee because the yellow bee will not touch you because the background is blue, but the dominant color is yellow. So yellow is vibrant. It is not political. I'm not insinuating.
No, it's not political.
I'm saying it is coming red and yellow because yellow is a vibrant color.
You can only see yellow
That
here.
vibrance is in
You
the
have
UDP.
black, you have blue, you have red.
You have blue, you have red behind me. But behind you, I'm seeing yellow, red, and only the moon. So when the moon and the sun is shining, it becomes yellow. And that vibrance cannot be taken out of the issue that you are safe with me as the beekeeper and the color behind you, you're safe. It's the yellow bee.
And I pray we continue being safe around you.
You will always be safe. iAfrica, you will be always safe. You know why I like iAfrica? There are two things. Andabuyaga Bidegala, they have been there when nothing was there. They have been there when everybody ran away. So they should have been given more prominence. Not by us, but by the government of the Gambia. But this is very shameful. This iAfrica that covered your entire 2016 campaign with all the vices, with all the negativity around, with their lives at risk because we had junglers around. That iAfrica today is here. They need other things. Even their license to operate as a TV is denied by the government of Barrow. Is that not politics? No, I don't want you to stop me. Don't stop me. That is not your business. No, that is not your business. It's my business as a politician. Don't get me out and don't cut me. Let me land.
No, I'm not cutting you.
I'm telling you how
time
unserious and how ungrateful this Barrow government is.
We are running against time.
You are running against me, not time. Barrow,
No,
please issue these people license. They have been there for you. Not too long ago, yesterday, they rendered you an interview and you are laughing. But you forgot that they should laugh. They should have their license. People are issued license that iAfrica have contributed more towards Gambia being this new Gambia than those people. Why are they denied license? Pura, what is happening? Are you being micromanaged? Are you being self-remote controlled from the State House? Please, Barrow, give these people license.
Okay, thank you so much, Nyawo.
That
thank
is
you
the
so much
truth,
for
hard fact. Member caring ka fall now.
Abaraka bake ni nata ja watu wale ka jankandindi le kende ke fon. So now the viewers, so they must be happy that Nyawuru nata kotenke.
Do you know my second name?
No, I
my
don't.
second name, I will tell you my name. My name is General Melah, like lightning. You know Melah in Wolof?
What?
I'm General Lightning. General Melah, aka El Polpo in Spanish or in Portuguese, called octopus. In Arab, they call me Al Burah.
Thank you, Albura.
Yes.
So viewers, we will go with a short commercial break and continue with the program. Newspaper review is next.
GSM. Star GSM Fele promotion bana fena molye minul be mararing tanko bundala Gambia banko kanjang minubuko policeol armed forceol immigration customs anil lanjurtol datalar bala keta smartphone la minka sannu wini woro wala sang wini woro doma isa soto minka sannu wini woro sang wini lu minka sannu wini lu sang wini nani manda smartphone doma simple phone fanan minul kasannu kemelula sang kemenani talulu milbe kemenani talulu sang keme sabatalulu ning original techno simple phone minu kasannu keme konontola sang keme woro wala isa soto mobile ambulance dum keme woro doma Star GSM ya tabletu soto le pro dinningol wuli killing keme sey doma isa soto nyin tabletul minu ka sim card uta wili fula keme saba isa soto HD universal remote fanam bijele flat screenol mini yalon ko la receiver be konole 432 lombang wala 43 inches isi soto no $4,999 wala $8,999 Star GSM manda wodo mala nganying original face mask sol sotole minsal tanka coronavirus sotola nga air freshener fanan sotole pour alla sabati dinkiral aning official nyim bala muran tulol fanan bijele nyim flash kopol ka bonali america alse muna fangala la official do wara la sabati dinkiral pour jikando wala jisuma anda se sambano tilo mume nganying designer spray fanan sotale min sero ka tarafengo bala fo montoro wati monni nali andi botanam France le anin Dubai isina jibe no na bumbato min fele kombosila drive serekunda OJ Johnson nyati lengola wala nanyun kunkilim bitikol min fele talindi marseto anin tabo koto traffic light auto isen kumandino 7002494 wala 9901122 Star GSM mfanankan kato dango kele puru mimbe banko sambala nyato Star GSM.
Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Africa with me, Sohna Tunkara, and a big thank you to Star GFM. They are the main sponsors for the newspaper review. And now Amadou Kante will take us through what the newspapers are saying. Good morning, Amadou.
Yes, good morning, Sohna, and thank you for, should I say for having me, right?
Yeah, for having you.
All right, great. Of course, we will go with the newspaper review, like you said. And of course, this morning we have the Foray newspaper, and of course, we have the Voice newspaper and the Standard newspaper, and we are starting with the Joy newspaper, that is the Foray, and on their headline this morning says residents of Borough Kandakase yearning for clean, safe drinking water. And another one on their headlines is employee of MRC recounts ordeal at NIA. And National Assembly organizes training on parliamentary reporting. The paper is also reporting this morning that TRC witnesses Kanyimban Kanyi is dead. And the editorial is saying who is monitoring electoral conduct in Nyamina West constituency and Ker Jarga ward. And the question of the day says where the National Assembly members who voted against the passing of the Constitution of the Gambia 2020 promulgation bill to go to the committee stage for review misguided by the Attorney General. So that's the question of the day, and we just take one story. Yeah, absolutely.
It's Monday again.
It's the beginning of the week, so you should, of course, expect that. And we talk about, Borough Kandakase in the URR, in Bassett to be precise, where a resident of Woolly East, village of Borough Kandakase, Upper River region, have raised concern over the shortage of clean and safe drinking water in their locality that has since early this year been affecting them. That's a concern.
Indeed, it's a great concern.
They are raising their concern. No good water, clean drinking water for them. So I think the authorities should do something.
It's disturbing that Gambians are still calling on for support so that they can have access to these basic necessities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and from the Foray, we move on to the Voice newspaper, and it says on their headlines today that, of course, the same one, Borough Kandakase residents also bemoan lack of access to clean, safe drinking water, and mediation flopped. Latrikunda residents to endorse rightful Alcalo, and President Barrow to start unannounced visits to MDAs, unjustifiably absent staff to be sanctioned. And adult non-formal literacy deserves unique attention. That's what the paper is saying. And finally, on their headline this morning, says Gambia validates commercial corruption risk assessment. That's it on their headlines. And we just take one story also on this one. And this time around, we of course talking about the president. You have been talking about him since in the morning. And again, here he is again on the papers. Noah Toure, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, has said that President Barrow will embark on unannounced visits to NDMAs and heads whose staffs are unjustifiably absent, according to a circulated letter to the various institutions, which states that it has come to the notice of the Office of the Secretary General and Head of Civil Service that public offices are habitually reporting to work late as well as leaving offices before the official closing time. Furthermore, this office is also aware that some offices close before official closing time, purporting that their department runs short of cash power.
Interesting. I've seen a circular released by government authorities
with regards to this
with regards to the same issue, that public servants are not respecting their jobs accordingly.
That's sad.
Going to work late and then closing
early as well.
And it is not expected.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just a bad thing to do. If you are entrusted a responsibility,
you should fulfill it to the best of your ability,
because,
especially government offices. They are always open for people, and you should be available whenever the need arises.
Yeah, absolutely. And we say we want Gambia to develop, and everybody have to play.
It should
and
be
play
a concerted effort.
Yeah.
It should not be based on individual effort alone.
Well, absolutely.
It's a country that we are talking about, so a lot of effort is needed from each and every one, including you and I.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just the fact. It's just sad that it's happening this way, as the Secretary General is highlighting. But anyway, we will just end it with the Standard newspaper and their headlines.
TRRC is mandated to make recommendations for prosecution or amnesty for human rights violations. However, the TRRC has not made